It's well known that the royal family have some very expensive pastimes, from polo and carriage driving to grouse hunting. Despite being one of the most privileged families in the world, the royals still enjoy normal hobbies too, and it seems that stamp collecting has proved to be a solid favorite for many members of the firm over the years. As ordinary as this therapeutic activity may sound, in true royal fashion the family's stamp collection is valued at a whopping £100 million, OK reports. While the late Queen and many of her ancestors, stretching all the way back to Queen Victoria's reign, all shared a similar interest in the pastime, the same cannot be said for King Charles, who prefers to spend his free time painting or gardening. The former monarch was the fifth royal to add to the world-famous Royal Philatelic Collection, following on from its inauguration by Queen Victoria's son, Prince Alfred in 1864. The Royal Philatelic Collection is the world's finest and most comprehensive collection of British and Commonwealth stamps. Prince Alfred sold his collection to his brother, the future King Edward VII, who in turn gave it to his son, King George V. It was subsequently passed down to King George VI and finally Queen Elizabeth herself. Stamps first came into circulation on May 6, 1840 during the early reign of Queen Victoria, when it cost just 1 penny to send a letter which weighed under half an ounce. Of all the royal custodians, King George V was very dedicated to maintaining and growing the collection. While he was still the Duke of York, the prince was made the honorary vice-president of what would go on to become the Royal Philatelic Society of London in 1893. King George's dedication to his beloved hobby had no limits, and he even set the record for the highest price ever paid for a stamp. A courtier asked the then prince in 1904 if he had seen that some damned fool had paid as much as £1,450 for a single stamp, to which George replied, "Yes, I am that damned fool." The thrill of stamp collecting was on passed from grandfather to his granddaughter, Queen Elizabeth, who referred to King George V, Grandpa England. The late monarch inherited her grandfather's 328 albums of stamps. Speaking before the late Queen's death in September last year, royal expert Phil Dampier said, "The Queen loves showing her stamp collection to visitors, say heads of state who stay at Buckingham Palace. It is one of her pride and joys, not only because she owns some of the world's most valuable stamps, but also because she has built on a family treasure and feels she has done her father and previous monarchs who owned it proud." The former monarch added several impressive additions to the collection, but her passion has not been shared by her eldest son, King Charles. The king focuses his attention on painting, and at the start of 2022, he saw 79 of his watercolors exhibited at the Garrison Chapel in Chelsea. The then Prince of Wales spoke of his hobby on a display panel as he said that painting refreshes parts of the soul which other activities can't reach. He added, "You become increasingly aware of things that may have escaped your attention previously, the quality of light and shade, of tone and texture, and of the shape of buildings." Join the Daily Records WhatsApp community here and get the latest news sent straight to your messages. It all requires the most intense concentration and consequently is one of the most relaxing and therapeutic exercises I know. In fact, in my case, I find it transports me into another dimension which, quite literally, refreshes parts of the soul which other activities can't reach. I took up painting entirely because I found photography less than satisfying.
情。